Okay, so what do I do this, I guess.
You don't need to do anything. We just started recording. My name is Melissa Ho, and I'm interviewing Kay WalkingStick on August 29th, 2020 for the Smithsonian Institution Archives of American Art Pandemic Project. And Kay is speaking to me from her home in Easton, Pennsylvania. So hello, Kay, and thank you so much for making time for this. I'd like to start with just asking you simply, how have these past several months been for you?
I think a lot easier for me than many other people, to tell you the truth. I'm retired. I haven't taught since 2005, so I've been out of teaching for a long time. And we have a home in Easton, Pennsylvania, which is a small town on the Delaware. So we don't have the mobs of people to deal with when we go out to a drugstore or grocery shopping or whatever. And my house is big enough so that I have a studio, not a huge studio, but a small studio. I have a couple of storage rooms. My husband has a separate studio. Both of our studios have doors on them so we can close the doors. We have an upstairs, our home is upstairs. Downstairs is devoted to our art, and there's a library down here and an office. I'm in the office right now. So we haven't been out at all, seen people at all. We haven't had visitors other than my assistant who comes in once a week. We haven't, this is where I've been. I've been in this house most of the time. What's 8 months now, isn't it? It seems like
10 months.
Absolutely forever. And we miss seeing friends. I haven't even seen my family. I haven't seen my son for months. I have grandchildren I haven't seen. But we're perfectly safe. And we're really perfectly okay, which is, I think, really wonderful. I mean, we both have pensions from our respective universities. My husband, Dirk Bach, was at RISD, and I was at Cornell. So we have enough money to live on. We don't have the threat of losing our jobs. We don't have jobs anymore. One has always made our alone, so being alone is not a problem, being on our own. So really, we're happy, if that's, a fair assessment. And maybe I hope a lot of other people are too. But I know it's a lot harder for people who are working or who have children, or who have children who are going to go to school, and the decisions of do you send the kid to school, or do you make them sit in front of a computer all day? The problems that others have, we simply don't have. And that's a great blessing. We can sit on our back deck and have dinner and, just not worry about other people, how they're getting by. I do worry. I worry about my kids, of course. My son hasn't had a job for 6 months now. That's hard for him. Hard to know about. My grandson goes to Rutgers, and he's not going to be going to Rutgers now. He's going to be at home studying via computer. So my family is affected, but I, as an artist, have not been. I make art. The big thing for me is I haven't been to a museum in 6 months. I miss the museums. I miss the Met. I miss the museums tremendously. But that's a small price to pay for good health
Sure.
and a small price to pay uh, altogether. I mean, that's my big complaint is I miss the museums.
Yeah.
I
So
worry about my kids, but I don't worry about us. We're in good shape.
has, I mean, it sounds like, your studio practice in a way has been undisturbed by the pandemic. But I wonder if the larger circumstances of seclusion and not being able to feed yourself through seeing art, going to museums, has that affected your work at all yet?
It has, but the big thing for me is I'm a landscape painter primarily, and I travel a lot. I go to places and make drawings and photograph and come home with the material and work from it for 6 to 8 months, and then go off again somewhere. I haven't been out of this house for months, much less travel. So I'm kind of running out of imagery, which is unfortunate, but I have a lot of other imagery that I can pull out. You know, I have photographs and other things that I can go back to and work on. But there won't be any new places appearing in my art for a while because I haven't been anywhere. I miss the travel.
How much would you normally be traveling a year? How much would you be traveling in a year under normal circumstances?
We usually travel twice during the year. And of course, when we could go to Europe, we would go to Europe occasionally, and we'd travel in the West here in the States. But we were usually on the road at least twice a year, and we like to go up to New England. I like to paint water up there. I like to paint the ocean.
So this much time in the studio in Easton is pretty unusual for you.
It's unusual. Yeah, it's unusual.
Have you been
making the best of it? I think that we are. As I said, I'm using, right now I'm working from some drawings and photographs of the Grand Canyon I did years ago, probably 5 years ago.
So you're able to travel through your work, maybe, in your mind at least.
But I do miss that tremendously.
Yeah.
But the odd thing is that I had a show that was supposed to open on March 15th, I think, and the work was put up, and the show was extended through June. The plans had been for it to be up a month and a half, and it ended up being up quite a bit longer. And there were some major sales in that exhibit. It was at the Charles Froelich Gallery in Portland, which of course is a long ways from here.
Yeah.
I had planned to go out, of course, and hope to go to the Columbia Gorge and make some drawings there, and did not do that. But the show itself was seen by a lot of people, and there were some significant sales out of the show, in spite of the fact that nobody could actually go to the gallery.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, there were people who made appointments and did go. The gallery was letting in 1 or 2 people at a time, and they were all masked and very careful. But basically, there was no opening. There was none of the excitement of, lectures and receptions and all that. None of that happened.
Yeah.
And yet, nevertheless, by some miracle, work sold. So, very strange. It's been a very strange time.
Yeah. Are you doing anything new during this time? Have you have you changed any of your, whether everyday habits or studio habits?
No, and that's why I said that I think that it's been easier for us than
Yeah.
because we haven't had to change our habits. We live in a house large enough so that we can work separately. And the only thing that my husband usually does is grocery shopping. And that's the only reason to go out, is to bring in food, and once in a while go to the drugstore.
Yeah.
Go to the doctors. We're old, so we go to doctors.
Well, I mean, we don't know exactly what the next half year or year is going to bring, but I wonder if, if you've looked ahead to the coming months and have any thoughts on how you envision your work continuing as this crisis continues.
Well, as always, one's work and one's ability to work depends a lot on what happens in the political situation in this country. That has always been the case. And any kind of big political upheaval has affected my work. When you think of something like the early 70s, when the American Indian movement, the feminist movement, Black freedom movement were all at the same time. And those things definitely affected my work, and I think everyone's really, to a greater or lesser degree. So that I think that what's going on in our politics today will affect us all. And I think it will affect what happens with the pandemic as well. This may be not the appropriate time to talk about it, but I feel that our president has let us down terribly as far as the pandemic is concerned. And if we change that, if he is no longer our president, perhaps the virus will be handled better, and we'll be able to get out, and we'll be able to travel, and there will be a vaccine. Either way, there will be a vaccine eventually, but sooner than later would be good. So I really feel that a lot of our life right now is dependent on what happens politically in our country. I worry about that.
You mentioned, the period in the 70s of great social change. And I wonder, somebody who lived through that, as an artist, as a Cherokee woman, as an American, do things feel different to you now with the conversation, the heightened awareness, it seems, about systemic racism, the call for social justice? Does it remind you of earlier times, or does it seem different to you, or sort of a continuation of the same?
Well, I have very mixed feelings about it, actually. I think the women's movement has been quite successful, in that there wasn't much hope for becoming what you wanted to become. And I have been very lucky, and what I set out to do, I was able to achieve. But I certainly didn't expect that. And so that the feminist movement, for me, opened up a lot of opportunities that I didn't expect I would have when I was in college in 1955. And as far as the Me Too movement, it was it's hard to talk about, because really people kind of expected guys to be assholes. to tell you. And they were. They didn't disappoint. Some of them were not. And those were the ones that you dated if you could, or married if you could. So that the things that have gone on and men have been arrested for, I'm very pleased to see. And that's a huge, huge change from the 50s. And I'm not sure that people realize what a great change it is. I think that as far as African Americans and Indians are concerned, I know very little about Latino people, what has happened in their lives, or Asian people in their lives for that matter. But as far as Blacks and Indians, I think in some ways, things are much better. Things are better. And in some ways, things haven't changed at all. Not at all. I mean, the rights of natives, for instance, Native people, and their treaties are still ignored. They always said that the treaties were valid in perpetuity, but actually in perpetuity only meant 20, 30 years, and then it was forgotten. And that is still going on. And you think of what happened in the clashes with the government over the pipeline. The pipeline is going. That's Indian land, damn it. And yet those reservations' rights are ignored. Well, that's another thing that I'm hoping a change of presidency will make some changes as far as the land use is concerned. Environmental use of the land, but also Indian rights of the land. So there have been improvements, and yet a lot of things are not better, not different at all. People are still selfish and greedy and jerks,
Yeah. It's a tension, right, between thinking about the individual and thinking about the communal. Right now, that seems very clear. Let me check the time. Maybe just one more general question. What do you think you will remember most from this time?
This time, the isolation. Just not seeing people. I miss people.
Yeah.
And I'm not lonely. I have a fascinating and funny husband. He's a good artist and knows an awful lot of really neat stuff. But I miss seeing other people. I do. I miss seeing my kids.
Yeah. I think we're all looking forward to getting on the other side and being able to be together with people.
Together with people.
In real space and not just virtual space. But Kay, thank you so much for meeting me in virtual space for this time. And we really are grateful for you making time for this interview.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Bye now.
Bye.